G'day guys, welcome to my March monthly meal prep. This is take 2 of this video. A couple of days ago I had just put all the flour, I was going to do some homemade bread, flour, yeast, salt in a bowl, and then I became unwell. So I'm starting again, so that's why it's so late in the month. So first off, I'm going to be doing chicken skewers for the first time, and I am so hoping that this is delicious because I must admit I'm not a big fan of the store-bought ones, just the sauces they use and the kind of meat. At least here I'm going to know what meat I am putting on these skewers. So first off, it's really important that the bamboo skewers don't burn. So that's why I'm putting them in some cold water and then I'm pressing them down, and I'm doing that for a minimum of 10 minutes, but I even looked in a few recipes and they even suggested doing it up to 30 minutes just so it didn't burn. So the marinade I'm going to be creating here is super simple, and it was stuff that I had in the cupboard, which is always great. So I'm using some sweet smoked paprika. The recipe said sweet paprika, but I figure smoked is fine. Some minced garlic, I'm using some from the jar, salt, pepper, olive oil, and then mixing it all together. So here is 1.5 kilograms of chicken thighs. I'm going to get 3 different dishes out of it, which is going to be a money saving for me. I'm aiming to do about 500 grams of chicken thighs. That's why I'm measuring it out, because like I said, I want 2 lots of kebabs and 1 chicken curry. So I need to make sure that I don't use all the thighs in one recipe so that I can spread it out as a cost-saving measure. So for those who make this at home, do you use chicken thighs or do you use chicken breasts? And do you use the bamboo skewers or the metal skewers? Like I always say in these cooking videos, the wisdom is actually down in the comments from other people in our community that are sharing what they know and what they've learnt. So do have a look down there, and please do share what you do. It really helps other people, and I do really love reading your comments. Now, I wasn't joking when I said that I've never made chicken skewers before. So this first one, I just shoved them all on, and I was thinking, how am I going to get 10 bamboo full of chicken? So by the second one, I was like, this is just not right. This is not taking up enough space on the kebab. So I pierced each piece of chicken twice, and here it is here. A lot better. And then I did that from then on, and there was plenty of chicken for the skewers. But if I kept going the way I was going to go, then I probably would have had 5 skewers. So by getting 10, I thought I'll be able to spread this meal even further. Each of us had a skewer and hubby had 2. And then I just filled the rest of the plate with veggies. So it means I was able to get 2 meals out of these chicken kebabs. I could have served 10 of them in one meal, but I'm trying to bulk up our meals with veggies and just having a little bit of meat, just to make the meal go further and save us money as a family. Then I put it in an airtight container, popped it in the fridge and left it there all day until I cooked it at night. I decided to cook these in the oven. I just put it at 180 degrees and I cooked it for about 7 or 8 minutes each side, of course making sure it was fully cooked before I removed it. Now, I honestly thought with the other 500 grams that I'd do a different marinade, and I'd love to hear what you guys marinate your chicken skewers in. You know, I looked at teriyaki, I looked at like a honey soy, and then I thought, I might as well just do the same one again. I already know the ingredients and we'll see how it tastes. I just found it easier sitting on a stool whilst threading the chicken onto the skewers. These ones I put into a Ziploc bag and then I put into the freezer. And as you can see, it's really important when you're freezing, you always want to think about defrosting it at the other end. So I tried to do this as flat as possible so it will defrost easier in the fridge overnight. And then the next one, I'm making a super simple chicken masaman curry. So I'm just using some paste that we had in the pantry, putting that into the wok until it became fragrant, and then I added in the chicken. I didn't want it to turn rubbery, so I just seared the outside before putting in the coconut milk, and then I let that simmer for a little while before adding in the veggies, and it turned out so good. It was absolutely delicious. I couldn't help but have it for lunch that day, just with one of those microwave rices that are 40 seconds in the microwave. It was a delicious lunch and so easy to do. And then the next dish that I'm doing is another new one, is a potato bake. I've mentioned before that the kids really don't like mashed potatoes, so I was kind of hoping having the potatoes come in the oven, they might like this meal. But I was trying to work out how to get a perfect slice. So I'm using the food processor, and the first potato I did sliced up perfectly. And then after that, it kind of cut into little pieces. So then I'm like, I'm doing this wrong. I changed the attachment so that it was slightly bigger, so it was better. I think the first one I was using was more for like cucumber, whereas the second one was for potato. But then I still had to push it down because if I didn't, it just cut up tiny little pieces. Then I put it in the lasagna dish and I actually went and had lunch. I think when I'm cooking, it's really important to try and keep a clean workspace. So I ended up running the dishwasher a couple of times as well and just kept on top of it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just waiting for the dishwasher to finish before I load it up again. So this one, I'm guessing it's similar to like a scallop potatoes, but instead of using flour, it uses cream, delicious thickened cream. So I did about 2 tablespoons of butter and then used the cream that I had before adding in some garlic and then a little bit of salt. And then I poured that over the top. Then the cheese I used was the cheese I had, so I just used some mozzarella. But, and this is what I learned afterwards when I did a bit of an investigation to see if I'd use the right potatoes. I chose those because they were already washed and clean, and I thought that'd be easier than peeling. So I was reading, and shredded cheese tends to have an anti-caking agent, so it doesn't all cake together, so therefore it doesn't melt as well. And I was like, okay, so I should have just grated my own tasty cheese. Then I covered it with foil and baked it at 180 for an hour and 15 minutes before taking the foil off and then baking it for another 15 minutes until it was kind of brown on the top. So snack-wise, I'd planned to do Anzac slice as well as some blueberry muffins. And unfortunately, I didn't get time to do the Anzac slice. Time just ran away from me for the day. But I did a double batch of these blueberry muffins, which are just delicious. And they don't contain any added refined sugar. It's flour, baking powder, vanilla essence, eggs and bananas, and then kind of mixing that all together. And you can just put the little blueberries on the top, or I just chucked it into the bowl while I was doing that and mixed it all together. My problem here is the oven was actually at 220 degrees Celsius instead of 180 degrees Celsius, and you can see how they turned out. I got them out early, thank goodness. I realised they're still delicious. Everyone's still eating them, and I've frozen them, and that there is the potato bake. So I'd love it if you could share your experience in the comments below. Thanks heaps for watching. Bye!